Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Will. If you can remember, last week we done the big elm pot. Nice big lump of timber. So for this week I'm scaling down a little bit. So what I have in mind is a nice little live edge ball. So get rid of this jug. What I want is the little small one. So I'll show you what I have. So we have a nice little piece of cherry. Couple of tiny little cracks here, but not so worried, they don't go up too far. Same on this side, one there goes in a little ways, but I'm going to try and, as I said, live edge, so I'm going to leave the bark on, and so we'll be turning away this, so hopefully the bark will stay on, but if not, nothing we can do, although it feels a little loose there, but we shall see. So I just marked centers roughly, measured it, and same here, but what I did, I just flattened it with a Forstner bit here. So what I want to do is I'm going to mount it on a little woodworm screw. So I have a little tiny little SC, a record power SC2 chuck, and we have one little worm screw. So what I want to do is I want to drill a 7mm hole. So I have my drill here ready. That's a bit slow. Turn that speed up a bit. So stick it between the bed bars there just so it doesn't spin. And that should do. Pop on our little chuck. It's a dainty little chuck. It's ideal for these little small projects. So in with the worm screw, always pull the worm screw out just before you tighten it. So now I'll tighten up. Now put in the locking screw, the locking pin, and we'll just give it a final little pinch up, and that's loads. So happy. Yeah, it's nice and tight. I also had these two little guys as well. I was going to turn these. This is a bit of white turn, but if you look, it has some really tight grain. So yeah, nice little pieces. It was a bigger piece, but it did have quite a substantial split in it. So I just cut it down the middle. It was a half log, so it was, yeah, something like that. But it did have a big crack, so. But I get two nice little pots from them. But yeah, I said it's white turn. But so today we're going to turn the cherry. I'll see if I get through it pretty quick. Maybe I might turn one. If not, I'll do them on another video. So now I'm just going to bring up my tailstock just for a couple of minutes, just to like get some of this rounded up. And what I'll do then is I'm going to put a small little recess in the bottom of this because I can leave it in it. I'll just leave it in as a feature. We'll put a few decorative lines or something in it. So anyway, we get to turning. Just a little pinch up. Get a little bit closer. So when I was mounting it, I just mounted it between two stem centers, and I just got it as central as I could. But yeah. So I'm going to start off with a 3/8 inch ball gouge. So just doing 900 RPM. Take a look. So I can go in another bit here. I see if I can get a bit more speed now. So we just got 1300 RPM. So now I'm down to some decent flat wood there. So I might actually take it in another little bit. We have a knot here chipping away a little. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start cutting in this way, just so as I don't chip off these corners. So I'll just rearrange my tool rest. Because I want to take back to there, so these corners will be coming off. So still have a bit of a flat spot, so I need to go a bit more. See, this crack is still there, so nearly round on this side, little flat spot there, so we'll take it down another bit. I'll just move my tool rest in a bit. So I'm down to good wood here and good wood here. So I still have flat spot here, so I will probably have to make it a good bit smaller. But I can come in a little bit more on the bottom as well. Yeah, we'll take a look. Ah, still have a flat spot. And it's nearly gone on this side, so yeah, we need to go a little pip more. In hindsight, if I would have moved the bowl a little bit this way, I probably would have got away with a bit more of that. But anyway, it is what it is. So we'll take another couple of cuts. So I've got a little bit of torn grain. It's because I'm cutting this way, I'm cutting unsupported grain, but as soon as I get it down to a rough shape, what I can do is I can cut it the correct way, and that should take care of that. And maybe might give it a little shear scrape also. But yeah, try and get rid of this flat spot. So we'll take another couple of cuts. Ever so close, tiny little bit. And just a tiniest little bit. So I'm going to leave that. What I'll do is I'll get that on the outward cut. I'll have cleaned up nice there, but torn grain there and torn grain there. But we'll deal with that. Bark looks good, staying on. So now we can focus on the bottom and get a chucking point on. So I can take away this tailstock for the moment. So tool rest a little high. Just perfect. Now see, is it big enough for a recess? So now for this particular chuck I need a recess of 42 millimeters. So we set this guy to 21. Let's find the center. there. So I'm on the outer edge, so that's not going to quite work. So what I might do is I might put a little tenon on instead. So resize that again. So I need 36. So we'll put a little tenon on. We might be able to reshape it and leave it in as a little foot or something like that. So little parting tool. It's a little 1/4 inch, 6 millimeters. So I need to rest up a little bit for this. And just a tiny little button in the center. And we might leave that on as a little feature. So now what I want to do is I want to take a cut up this way, just a slight cut. Or maybe I might just shear scrape it. Yeah, I think I'll just shear scrape it. Because it's pretty good finish, except there's just one spot there and one little spot there. So I can use my little spear point scraper. I can switch to the slightly bigger one. Yeah, we'll use the bigger one. It's cleaned up quite nice there. So I still have that tiny little flat spot there, but I'll take that out with the next pass or two. That cleaned up quite nice, so you can see what that was taken off, those ever so light little shaves and just that little bit of dust. So that cleaned that up really, really well. So that is a sandable finish. A tiny little bit there, we'll just give it one more touch. So now that is really, really clean. So now guys, what I'll do is I'll get it sanded. Now guys, that's the piece all sanded. I sanded up to my usual 400 grit. So we get it off of the worm screw. I can just see the center mark there, so what I'll do is I'll just put a little pencil mark on it, just in case at the end if I decide I want to take the tenon off. But I think it looks quite nice, so it'll sit nice, just as a little foot. So we shall see. So that's if the chuck doesn't mark it too badly. So yeah, it's nice and secure. So we can start to get it hollowed out, but I see the bark here is quite loose. If you haven't noticed with cherry, it has like a waxy part to the bark just on the very outside, and it's quite loose, so we'll see. Hopefully most of it stays. So now start hollowing it out. Again, back to my 3/8 inch ball gouge. Now just doing 1200 RPM. We'll take a look. Yeah, bark is getting loose. So I just touched the rim there, so I damaged it a little bit, but I can take that in another bit more. So we should keep going. So far so good. Our walls are nice and thin, so probably around 3 mm there. So I can take a little bit more in the bottom. I don't have much, but a little bit. So I just turn that tool rest in a little bit. Should it's running nice and free. So far so good. I think I can take another little bit in the bottom. Yeah, I have a tiny little ridge here as well, so as you can see the wings are flexing a little, but we'll take another little bit there. Although what I might do is I might just give that a little scrape before I take away that material in the bottom. So, little round nose scraper. That even sounds tin. Perfect. So now just a little bit in the bottom. So I might actually use the scraper. So I need to come up a little. Maybe another tiny bit. And that has done the job. So, time for sanding. Now guys, that's the piece all sanded. Again, sanded up to 400 grit. I had one tiny little troublesome spot there, a tiny little bit of tear out, so I just had to stop the piece and do it stationary, but the rest of it is all perfect. And as you can see, the walls are quite delicate. So yeah, we'll get it off to get a bit of finish on. So my foot didn't take any damage from the chuck, so happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of Danish oil on. It's from Hampshire Sheen. So just put a little bit in a bowl. Piece of paper towel. Also a lovely little bit of cherry. I love doing these little live edge balls, they're quite fun. And as you seen at the start, it was only a tiny little bit of wood. Some beautiful colour in it. And the bark all stayed on, which was bonus. So anyway guys, if you stuck me this far, you might tap that like and subscribe for me. Don't forget to leave a comment. And I was just checking my channel there, it's getting close to the 10,000, so I think I'm up to 9,750 or 60. So big thanks to you guys for getting me this far. And I've said in some of the other videos I will be doing a giveaway, so make sure you're subscribed and leave me a comment also. So hopefully in the next month, definitely before Christmas anyway. So look at that, there's a beautiful piece of cherry. I said at the start there I had 2 other little pieces, but just looking at the footage there, I've got about 40 minutes of footage there, so the video will be quite long. So what I'll do is I'll do another quick little video, and I'll turn the other 2 and I'll just stick them out as a bonus video, either this week or next week. So now that's the whole piece covered. What I'll do is I'll just give this a couple of minutes just to soak in, and I'll clean off all the excess. I will take a look at it then, but yeah, so far it's looking really, really good. So now there we have it guys, all the oil cleaned off. And I'm going to leave this tenon on as a little foot. It just raises it up off of the table just that little bit. As the chuck didn't damage it, so I'm quite happy. I just left it like a little button in the centre, just for a little bit of detail. And the bark stayed on, which is lovely, lovely little bit of bark on it. So it's natural live edge. So yeah, nice little bit of cherry. So here we are guys, hope you enjoyed that little video. Said not a very big project, but it doesn't have to be to have a bit of fun. So get out in your workshops and have a go. So anyway guys, catch us on the next one, so take care and bye for now.